Oh, good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Find up the platform, ready for a little trip talk. And tonight is going to be an educational night, information and education tonight on the podcast. I have an outstanding panel lined up for you tonight. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring them in. How you doing tonight, sir?
How you feel? Pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
Man, I know, man. But look, hey, I ain't gonna beat around the bush with you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on in, man. How you doing tonight, Kurt?
How you doing, sir? I'm sorry for being late. I'm
It's
sorry. I
all
apologize.
good. It's all good. It's all good. What's going on, D Bell? What's going on, my brother Nasty Dahuru MC? Much love, my brother. Much love. Black and white forever. Come on in, folks. Come on in. We're gonna have us a little talk about mentorship and mentoring riders that's getting out there, because without a doubt, I think this year, panel, I've seen more people riding, going to different events, not necessarily events, but doing the I-10 to the end, doing the four corners, doing POI searches and other activities where they're just going off the normal path. Do you agree?
Ladies first.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've been watching. The ladies been doing their thing. I'm always in their corner. So yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. What's going on, Mr. Joyner? Thank you for joining us, sir. Please, if you feel like chiming in, just let me know, man. I'll shoot you the link over, man. Get you in here. Tea time. How you doing tonight, sir?
And I can't complain. I'm hanging in there.
I
And
know
and,
that's
and, and to answer your question, I do see a lot of people getting out more and more, and that's a good thing. You know,
right. I love it, man. I'm enjoying it because a lot of the places that we traveled, we start seeing other people posting up, man, going there. And I'm like, yeah, now people wanting to get out and ride a little bit. Hey, what's going on, Dez? How you doing? Outstanding. Look at that solo champ right there, man. How you doing, most wanted? Doug Wilson, how you doing, my brother? Jersey, Brick City, man. Come on in, folks. Come on in. I gotta welcome these people in, because without them, there is no Ryder McKay Soul the podcast, man. You know how it is.
for
Two
sure,
heavy hitters
for
on here
sure.
tonight. Yes, sir, D Bell. Yes, sir. I got the all-star lineup, man. I'm telling you, we're gonna dive right into this thing. One of the first things that I wanted to talk about as far as mentoring, and we've all ridden, we've all had people under our wings that we kind of mentored and guide and got through rides, either with us or on the phone, helping them out. Um, what do you think going into mentoring, something that you need to establish with the mentee?
I think. Well, I think you first and foremost, you got to know yourself. You got to
Right,
know what type of person you are, and um what your attributes are. What kind of leadership or mentor style you're going to choose, and then
hmm
you also have to make them be aware of how you are and what your expectations are.
right,
You know,
right.
once you set the ground and make that clear, I think everything else should go pretty smooth from there. But
Pretty smooth. I would agree. Would you agree, Curves?
Definitely yes. I think y'all are spot on with that. I will say, like, if I took myself, my mentor wasn't really a necessarily a long distance rider though.
Hmm.
So that doesn't always have to line up. You know what I mean?
Right.
With what you're trying to do, as long as you can get on the same page with that person, tell them what your expectations are. They kind, it's kind of like all of us were in the military. You know how we that initiative, like feedback, that session that you get with your supervisor. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Hey, what's your expectations? What my expectations are, and then you kind of set that groundwork and you kind of move along with that, because as long as that person is fulfilling what you're looking for, you know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
And hey, y'all just kind of move along in that. If it gets to a point where your expectations are a little bit more than what that person can fulfill for you, then you may have to extend yourself to the next, mentor. You know what I mean? But ground level, hey, let's just get on that level with each other and move from there.
Right.
And you don't necessarily have to have one mentor.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So it just depends on what you're trying to do
Okay.
to grow in your riding.
Okay. Would you say that multiple mentors may cause conflict?
No, 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 no. Once again, is first of all, for the mentee is what
She froze up on us.
I know she keep
You froze up on us, Curl. I don't know if she can hear us.
Tamika. Tamika.
yes, I'm here.
You
Can you
froze
hear
up.
me?
Okay, there
Oh, my
you
bad.
go.
Okay.
There
Yeah,
you
my
go. We
camera.
got you
My
back.
camera.
We got you back.
Yeah. So listen, if something happened to my camera, I might have to jump on my phone. I don't know
Okay.
what's going on with webcam.
Yeah.
But can you
Don't
hear
worry,
me?
I holler up the step and let you know what's what.
Yeah,
I
so
love it. I
I
love it.
think you literally can have more than one mentor and
Hmm.
establish, different things for, what it is that you want to do. Uh
Right.
but I encourage more than one mentor actually, you know what I mean?
Okay.
To kind of help you kind of expand and grow, evolve, in the different things that you want to do.
Okay. Okay.
Can
Tone?
I extend on that?
Yes. Yes, please. Tone?
Initially, I would say have more than one mentor, because again, we have different styles. One may be a little bit more attentive to your flaws or your weaknesses, and one may be a little bit more attentive to your strengths. And then you may have another person that just say, "Hey, it's this way or the highway." So
Mhm.
you may not be able to adapt to that kind of mentor. So you know, ride with a few people, pick a few people out, and see what kind of what they have to offer you. And at the end of it, pick which one you want to stick with. And I'm not saying cut everybody else out because again,
Mhm.
you can always learn from everybody else, but pick the one that you're more comfortable with.
Right.
Um,
Right.
y- so you can better yourself.
Right.
Because every mentor is not a they ain't really good mentors.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say you could
And,
be a
and
mentor, but you don't have to be a good mentor.
right, right. And it's different style, different approaches. One of them
Yeah.
definitely is building a mentoring relationship with the person that you are
Absolutely.
mentoring. That is key and
Hmm.
important. Understanding capabilities, a good mentor assesses the mentee's current writing skills, knowledge to tailor guidance according.
Yeah.
So that
For sure.
is truly important right there. And without a doubt, I just want to send a big shout out to Low Key. Low Key is one of my go-to guys, man, that when I'm doing research or I'm just trying to just make sure I'm on track, I reach out to Low Key. Low Key, come on in the studio, man, and let's chop it
Low
up.
key.
Yeah,
I
man.
talked
Low
to
Key
low key
said,
the other day.
yeah, yeah. Low Key said you can have multiple advisors, mentors have to be few. Okay, okay. I like that. No, I like that.
Yeah.
You can have multiple advisors. You have to limit the number of mentors. Got you. And that
Hmm.
to me, I think that is spot on because just like with a chain of command, or just like when you're giving instructions, you got that one person, but you may have squad leaders, platoon sergeants up
Right.
under that that's kind of help and guiding and building you. Thank you for that, Low Key. That's exactly what I've been looking for
So
today, man.
basically, low key is a very articulate dude. I got to
He
give
is.
him that. So basically, that's what I was saying, but
Oh
he
my
pretty much
God.
summed it up.
Oh my goodness.
He pretty much
So,
summed it up for me.
okay, Solo, who for the three key points on here, who came up with that? You did?
That's yeah, through research,
Okay.
through
I like
research.
that. I
Yeah,
like
through
that.
research, and I did reach out to Low Key when I first started planning to put this episode together, and he gave me some good input, and I'm going with it. So I definitely want to
Okay.
credit him for it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like I like the last one. The last one to me is most important. To
Okay,
me, growth. You know what
growth.
I mean? I always tell the ladies that are around me, if you've been doing this for at least 10 years, go back to the first time, your first year to
Hmm.
see where where your growth is. And then that will kind of tell you where you kind of need to be going for the next 10 years, if that's what you want to be doing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Always a short term and long term goal, in the
Hmm.
whole journey. So
Definitely.
so that you could grow in it.
Yeah, and that is the ultimate goal is to build a person up so that their confidence level is up, so they can go out and feel comfortable and confident, knowing that I can go out here by myself and I know how to recover myself. I know what needs to happen if I have a blowout and I need to call my insurance, because why? My mentor told me, hey, make sure your insurance got you a certain amount of mileage for your recovery of your
Hmm.
vehicle, trip interruption and stuff like that. All of those things that you are a young rider would be more focused on the ride, the journey itself. But I think with that mentor, with the right mentor, they will sit there and say, well, okay, take this in consideration and be prepared for this to help build them up.
Yeah.
See, one of the biggest things that I've seen is, are you listening to your mentor? So
Hmm.
are these people just basically talking and you're just, because and Tone know I'm gonna say this. K Solo is a great source of information. You know what I mean? And if K Solo is my mentor, when he tells me something, am I listening? Am I taking that in? Or am I just saying, oh, I'm just so glad to have K Solo, as a person I can reach out to, because now I can
Yep.
say I know K Solo.
Right,
Yeah, it's not
right.
just about knowing K Solo. I mean, he's
Exactly.
a wealth of knowledge. You know what I mean? So when you plug into him, it's like, hey, plug into the computer.
Yeah,
Prepare to download. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
And then and take, and don't get me wrong, everything that K Solo is gonna give you is not necessarily gonna be for you.
Right.
But you need to take in what he's saying. Don't try to take the shortcut. You know what I mean? Learn the whole way first, and then you decide what works for you, and then you can kind of tailor it to your style of riding, tailor it to what you want to do. But if you go in with a shortcut, and K Solo gave you the entire map to get to, from point A to point B, and you decided, well, I'm just gonna do it this way, then don't get mad at K Solo when it doesn't work for you, because
Yeah,
he gave you the key to the map. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and
And
that's yeah. I'm sorry.
Or don't be mad at K Solo if he found out you took the shortcut and didn't listen, and now he don't want to help you no more.
exactly. Yeah.
You know that the thing about it, and I say this all the time, everybody have their own style of mentoring, teaching, and kind of, wanting somebody to just take flight. You know what I'm saying? We've all been to, maybe been in the military, being non-commissioned officers, NCOs. We go through leadership courses. We have our own
Right.
style. You know what I'm saying? Some people sit there and say,
Mhm.
this style works for me, this style doesn't work for me. But when it doesn't matter, you can have the softest person in the world sit down and break it down to you. I look at Lionel Ramos as being my mentor for the Iron Butt rally. He
Oh
mentored me.
yeah.
He set
Oh
me
yeah.
down.
L train. L
L
train.
train, L train,
Yeah.
without a doubt, man. That guy could teach a fly. He
He
could teach a
can.
bumblebee how to
Yes,
fly
he can.
backwards, man. Because
Yes.
it was the way that he broke it down to me. And like you say, Tone, I was just data feeding, man. Data
Mhm.
feeding, coming home and practicing, uploading points and references and routing. So the thing is if you have a mentor, you really have to just tune in with it, and then also confirm the learning, confirm the information that they gave you. Go back and do a check on learning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Absolutely.
something. It's
Yeah.
always a two-way street. I tell everybody it is, and I think one of the reasons why that that I don't know Lionel Ramos personally, but I think I could speak from being a leader or mentor. I think one of the most important things is, which what I learned from the military, is you have to learn the person.
Hmm.
Because as I was an instructor in the military, I learned that if I had a 75 man platoon, well, I couldn't deal with all 75 of them in the same manner. I
Right.
had to pick the one that wasn't getting it and figure out how to give it to him so that I can be sure that he's getting it and move safely and be good out there.
Right. Right. Right.
True.
So it's a
And
two-way street.
two-way street, two-way street. So we definitely establishing that mentor mentee relationship. We're establishing
Hmm.
that we come into the game, we buy a bike, and then it also goes back to a rider purchased the right equipment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Now,
man.
we're gonna open it up. We're gonna talk about
Yeah, man.
it.
Hey,
Hey,
Solo,
nurse,
you see what Baldhead said?
what
You
was
see
that?
what Baldhead said? You made him run next to his bike.
Hey, man, you're not supposed to be spilling those bees, man. These spilling bees out here. Oh my
Oh my
goodness,
goodness.
man. I know. Love you, Nancy. Love you, man. Nurse Tiffany says, meet them where they are. Meet
Oh
them
yeah,
where they
definitely.
are.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely,
Oh yeah.
definitely. Hey, Keisha, thank you for joining us today. Garland, thank you for joining us tonight, Garland. Hey, man, I definitely want to do another IBR episode, and I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you, man, and get you in and kind of just share your journey or adventure. Unfortunately, you did not finish, but hey, man, you definitely learned and going to go back and get it, though. I know you will. Yeah, and then we were talking about the right equipment. A lot of time people will start out on sports bike, and then they would transition into touring. That's typically the route that we take. We start out on the sports bike, then we come to. So when somebody sit there and say, well, okay, I want to go and buy a Harley, I want to go buy an Indian, or I want to go buy a Gold Wing, or whatever bike it is, you got to sit there and say, well, do you think a road glide would work for me? Do you think a street glide would work for me? Do you think a Challenger, a Pursuit would work for me? Is a Gold Wing too big for me? How would you come up with that? You look at the person size. How would you sit there and do a recommendation for the equipment or the bike?
Now, for my experience, my first my first motorcycle was a Gixxer 750, right? But the thing that happened to me was the guy that owned Suzuki City in Biloxi, Mississippi, wouldn't allow, if you were a first time rider, he wouldn't even allow you to buy anything like a Busa or a 14. He wouldn't even allow that. You know what I mean? So eventually I kind of moved up in bikes, but I'm kind of glad that I did. So taken from my experience, I advise the same thing with the ladies that ride. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I know the Road Glide is the bike that if you ride a Harley, you need to ride a Road Glide, but I think it's just the popular bike. I don't think that bike is made for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
It has a different setup with the fairing. Some people need to be able to see, far enough around for vision purposes. So I talk a lot about that in my club about, hey, maybe that's not the bike. I mean, it may be the popular bike, but maybe you need a Road King. You know what I mean? And nothing against the Road King because it's a nice ass bike. But if you can't move your, let me tell you what I would mentor and say. If you can't move your own damn bike, don't get it.
I know, man. That was the one right there. They can't move it. It ain't for
Get
you.
it. If you can't move it, don't get it. And of course, K Solo, you know that curves, here come curve. But guess what? A lot of people have learned. I'm like, listen, if you can't move your own bike, every time we go up a hill or every time we're somewhere where you don't really, you're not comfortable, if I got to get on your bike and move it, no, you need to trade that in.
Okay.
Okay.
Definitely. Low key laughing, man. Kim said exactly. Yes, definitely. Thank you, Kim.
I mean, not that I don't want to help them, but at the same time, that's not my bike. That's your bike.
You gotta learn it because you're not gonna be there all the time.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. And
So one of the first questions I ask
mhm.
when somebody tell me that is what's your intentions? What's your purpose? Do you plan on just getting a bagger to say you got one? Do you plan on actually riding it? And do you plan on riding it long distance? And whatever their answer is, then I go from there. Because again, if you want a Harley, if you want a road glide just to say you got a road glide, then I mean, go ahead and get it.
Right.
You might be asking the wrong guy though about anything after that. If you want a bike just to say you have it. Now,
Right.
if you want a bike and your purpose is to ride it and ride it long distance, now we can sit down and have the rest of this conversation.
Okay. All right. Nurse Tiffany says, sometimes it's necessary for a mentor to say the what you don't want to hear.
Oh
And
yeah,
we're going to
Hmm.
do that.
that's definitely part of your job as a mentor now.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
It's a lot of responsibility though.
It really is.
To
It is.
assume being a mentor, because when you send somebody out, you know, you kind of feel as though it falls on you, it's on your shoulder. You sit there and say, okay, um, you know, did I give this person the right information? Did I
Mhm.
teach them right? You know what I'm saying? Some people, and it's a true relationship when you have
Right.
that with a mentor, when they truly care about you on your ride. And I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
saying this because, you know, some people in the club and they'll sit there and say, well, I have a sponsor. That's just another way. That's just another word saying you're a mentor. You're a sponsor.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So
If they do it right. If they
Glad
do it
if
you,
right.
they
I'm
do
glad
it
you
right,
said
man.
that. I'm glad you said that. Uh, it is another word
If
for
they do it
mentor.
right. You
Yeah.
Yeah,
talking to club people here, remember that.
yeah, exactly. Let's
Yeah.
that's exactly why I wanted y'all on this panel tonight, because
Yeah.
you know, from the perspective of a president, from the perspective of a past president, being in a club, running hard for a club. So we say mentor, as an
Hmm.
independent, you will say sponsor in the club. So let's make sure we understand that definition is pretty much the same. Definitely, man.
Definitely.
I got a question coming in. Let me back up to it right quick. Dub said, Dub out of LA, Dub can't be touching other people bike.
I know that's right. I don't want to be responsible. I
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah,
be responsible.
that's right, man. That's right. Because uh, I had a club brother. I left my ignition on, and I knew my ignition would pop out. He didn't know the ignition would pop out,
Oh,
and he turned the bike
turned it
off,
off and it popped
and it
Oh
out.
my
went
God.
bing. So I think don't
Don't
touch
touch it.
nobody else. That's the old school, you know, the old knob
Absolutely.
on the Harley, man. I love it. I love it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We're just having a round table discussion. My panel and I, Tone Tea Time and Kurz. We're talking about mentoring riders, not just long distance riders, but to be successful in the motorcycle community, in a club, or whatever you in, taking on the responsibility of taking somebody under your wings, how you can help guide them, and how do you make them a better rider, better, and even a better person in the culture. I want to thank let's see who we got Kim, got to be able to pick it up. Keisha says, yeah, you get tired of that, gotta learn the bike and get comfortable with it, but if I
Yep.
drop it, I'm gonna need help.
You know what? I want to address that. Beauty. I appreciate you saying that. Let me ask the guys. So do you feel like a woman should, like, I know they try to teach, oh, this is the method of how to pick the bike up,
Mhm.
right? Okay. And yes, there's a technique in it. But there are going to be some instances, and I think that we kind of throw that out to the public, like, hey, you need to be able to pick this bike up. And but sometimes, depending on what you have on that bike, how you pack that bike, you may not be able to pick that bike up.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And even the technique of learning, of knowing how to pick that bike up may not work at that time. Depending on, if you like my bike, I don't have a back seat. I have a rack
Mhm.
because I do not have a back seat. So I don't, I don't have um the luggage rack, the way of carrying things in the same manner that everybody else has, because I only have a solo seat. So
Right.
I use my rack on top of my tour pack a lot.
Which
And so
that
so
raises
now my
your,
now
that's right.
my
That
weight
raises your center,
distribution,
yeah, your
that's
center
right,
of gravity.
is right. So my weight distribution on my bike is different from everybody else's. Like a lot of people have their tour packs because they have the back seat, and I call it the love seat,
Mhm.
hanging off, and but that's where the weight is on the back of that bike. You know what I mean? Where
Right.
my tour pack is pushed up against my back rest, and the weight is different. So my bike, it tends to be lighter than other people. So it just, I think that kind of has to be put into play with the technique of picking a bike up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because it's not the
Okay.
same way every time. And when we were on the Hoka, hey, we had so much stuff loaded down to the bike. Once you drop that bike, it was gonna take 3 or 4 people. It didn't matter what kind of technique you had. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
I think that's a big thing of people still need help, especially with the women sometimes,
Mhm, mhm.
depending on the type of bike
Or
they
some
got.
men too. There's some
Yeah,
Yeah,
men too that
I'm
need
in
help.
too.
Don't get it
Right, right.
twisted.
yeah.
To be clear, yeah, to be really serious about it. Some guys need it, you know what I mean? But we just kind of throw it out to the community and then people think, okay, yeah, let me once I learn this is gonna work every time and it just doesn't.
Right, right,
So
right,
that's one of the things as a mentor or advisor or sponsor or whatever words you want to use. Um, you have to kind of be careful about the information you put out because as my first mentor would say, your results may vary.
right,
So in the ideal world, everybody can lift their bike up, but realistically, everybody can't lift their bike up.
Right.
So we'll push this agenda on social media like if you can't pick it up, then you don't need to be riding it.
Yeah.
But I mean, realistically,
Exactly.
everybody ain't gonna be able to pick it up. I had
yeah,
to tell you, last year I went on a big ride, and I I actually dropped my bike. Well, I didn't drop it. I put the kickstand down, but it was in some mud,
okay,
so
yep,
it actually fell over. Right.
Hello.
So now I'm like, okay, ain't no problem. I've been here before. Let me lift this bike up. But because of my foot in the mud, I couldn't really get it.
hmm,
So my first thought was, and I'm sharing this as an experience in case anybody ever run across it. So my first thought was, instead of killing myself, when I just unpacked my bike, you know, and before I actually pulled all that stuff off the bike, I said, let me try this one more time, and I actually was able to lift it back up,
right,
and kick the kickstand back down real quick, and it actually stayed up this point, but. I just don't. I want everybody to walk away with there's idealistic things and there's realistic things. And
hmm.
realistically, everybody can't pick their bike up. So I don't care what they on social media saying. Don't let it bother you.
Don't be out there talking about
Um,
you Hercules, Hercules,
don't let
Hercules.
it kill you.
Okay, at
Don't be out
all.
there talking about Hercules,
No,
Yeah,
Hercules.
don't let it
no.
kill you.
Yeah. Shout out to Kim Ramsey. No, it's not a shame thing. You know what I mean? It
Right,
happens to
right,
Yeah,
everybody. Everybody
right,
drops their bike. It just happens. You know what I mean? So yeah, ask for help
yeah,
if you need it. Hey,
exactly.
and God
definitely,
bless you if you're out there by yourself. That's all I
You
can
definitely.
mess
tell you.
around, you mess around, hurt yourself trying to lift that bike up, and then you can't get back on and ride if you get it up.
Absolutely.
Oh man,
Absolutely.
absolutely, absolutely. That's key. That's key. That's one of those key things where we're going to sit there and say, okay, we'll chop that up into understanding capabilities. Would you agree?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Understanding capabilities.
Absolutely.
Definitely,
Okay.
Absolutely.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
then down here under the growth, we say mentors challenge riders to improve to the point of endangering. I can't even read my own. I got so much stuff
Where you at?
on my slam. Oh,
Are we
okay.
reading that with you?
Endanger themselves. No, no, no,
Okay.
no. I was just trying to read.
Oh,
I got
okay, we
so much
read.
on my slide.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just want to send a shout out to a couple of people right quick as we moving along. Des, I just want to thank you for joining us. Yes, being a mentor is a huge undertaking. Most Wanted says you give them the information, but it's on the mentee to understanding that the mentor has his or her best interest at heart. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Absolutely.
indeed. Caramel Tish, how you doing? Caramel's rocking that 3-wheeler, and I'm telling you, she rides that thing. Don't you, T? Dazzling, how you doing
You're riding
tonight?
that three
Dazzling?
wheeler on two wheels.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Maylene Lightfoot,
That's
how
what's
you
up.
doing? That's right. You got to embrace the crazy too. Indeed, we're all crazy still on a ride a motorcycle. Yes, Dazzling. Yes, yes. Come on in. Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. First, you got to ask for help. Park
Yes, you
my
do.
ego when my bike faints.
They
Go
told
for it.
Tim Man said he had the same problems you had.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Gopher, hey man, y'all need to reach out to Gopher, man. Robert Gopher. He's created a jack, a recovery jack that he uses to help lift his bike up if it's in
Okay.
gravel,
Oh,
sand,
really?
something like that. So Robert Gopher, Hoka Hey brother of ours,
Okay.
Curb,
Yeah,
he has the jack. Reach out to him.
I
Uh,
will.
and if you need to get one, and he's got it compact so that you can carry it on the bike with you.
Okay.
That's
Oh
good.
That's
yeah.
That's what's
awesome.
up.
That's
He'll be hearing from me.
awesome.
Yeah.
Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. There's my biggest getting hurt.
If he's on there, tell him put his information out there so people can reach out to him.
Yeah, go free.
I
If he's
can't I
still
can't
on,
see. I have my phone linked up, so I can't
right,
see
right,
most of the comments and stuff.
right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, go for it. If you can hear us, shoot a link out there, man. A way for people to contact you. They can get one of those jacks from you, man. Greatly appreciate that. You have to excuse the reading here. Egos got to go. Can't stay on twos forever. That's right. And when we get to that point, man, we're gonna have to saddle up and go to
I'm
three.
trying to
But
say it. That's right.
keep
I'm,
right on
hey,
riding. Keep riding.
that's right. That's right.
Keep riding. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight with Riding with K Solo, the podcast show. Tonight on Trip Talk, we're just gonna kind of just break it back from the ride itself and highlighting somebody doing a ride, because we see a lot of people out there riding now, and by them going to some of these isolated places, or you would say some of these POIs that's kind of maybe
Yeah.
not on the main road where you by yourself. We're talking about your capabilities, mentoring you to get you out of there so that you can sit there and won't panic, because you'll be riding through some places you'll lose signal. You won't even have a signal. You have to
Right.
think about that in mind too. And you have
Right.
to
How
be able to
about
cover yourself.
terrain recognition? Um, I seen a couple situations on social media in the last week or two, and one of the things I tell people, just because the GPS told you to go that way, that don't mean you necessarily have to go that way.
Right.
Because the GPS will take you on some roads that's not really a road, and you get down there and you'll get stuck in some mud or some gravel, or it'll turn into grass or it'll turn into whatever, but it's like a secondary road.
Right.
So I mean, just because you have to be able to recognize that if some of these places you'll go, you'll see a road or a paved road or gravel, but then the off road would be like just some tire tracks, and you have to realize, I'm on a motorcycle. Maybe I shouldn't go down this road that just have tire tracks on it. Let me find another way.
Right.
That can lead you to a bad deal.
Good deal.
We were we when we were doing the 48, we the route that we had was mainly a back road route. But what Tone was alluding to about the gravel, because a lot of people are very uneasy about gravel, and how you ride on it. First of all, I would say take your time. That's the first thing. But you still got to give the bike some gas. That's kind of like one of the things that people don't want to go too fast, but then sometimes they go too slow, which is how they end up dropping the bike. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you're going across the gravel, or like Tone said, before you start down that road, it could look at that gravel to see if it's been I'm gonna say tampered with. That's the phrase I'm gonna use. But it may be unbothered, meaning nobody has gone down that road in a while. You know what I mean? That may not be the place you need to be going. We kind of did that. We turned off a road, and I was kind of like trying to turn the pack around. And then I looked at that gravel road and I said, oh, no, we can't go down there, because it was, first of all these bikes are heavy on that gravel. I didn't know if it was going to be, the type of gravel where it would sink fast, or if it was more, dirt up, packed dirt up underneath where it would hold us pretty good. So we just kind of turned around and decided not to go down the road, and found another way. But
Okay.
you just kind of have to pay attention to those gravel roads, because some of them haven't been traveled in a while by anybody, not even a car. You
Right.
know what I mean? So
Right.
you just kind of have to be mindful of what you're looking at and where you should be going. And you're right, the GPS is not always right. A
It's
lot
not
of people
always
uh, people don't change their settings. So when you're in your car using your GPS, you might say no tolls, you know what I mean, on your
right.
GPS for your car, but it may not be the same way for your motorcycle ride. So you
Right.
have to just kind of be mindful of what your settings are in your GPS when you start out.
Right.
Yeah.
Pulling up our next number two. Our number 2 point is sharing knowledge and skills. And we kind of alluded to that in our opening. Long distance specific techniques. And we're talking about technique. This includes teaching about fatigue management, selecting appropriate gear, packing strategies, and navigating for extended journeys. And we'll hit that first. We'll just pick this one part. the long distance specific techniques. What would you consider one of your techniques of long distance motorcycle riding? And it doesn't matter which panel member goes first.
That's a good
So
go ahead, Tone. I'm gonna let Tone do that. Let me think a little bit about that.
technique. I think that's something you have to develop. I don't think there's necessarily a technique per se.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to get out there. You have to build yourself up. Once you build yourself up to a comfort level and experience level, everything else will fall in place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily know if there's a technique, um, unless you start talking about like packing techniques or you know things of
We'll,
that nature.
we'll
Like
talk.
techniques of
Right. We'll talk about as far as technique, as far as how long you're going to ride.
Okay.
What type of
okay,
equipment do you use? Do you use a stimulant to stay woke? Packing medication, making sure that
okay.
you're physically fit. We're talking about the technique of saying, okay, I know I'm going to ride for tank to tank. A tank typically is
Hmm.
2.5 hours. I'm
Right.
going to do no gas, no rest at a gas stop. I'm just going to gas and go. My technique is,
Gotcha.
and I say this because when Sharif and I ride, one of our technique is when we stop at a gas stop, we immediately yell out at each other, spot. We'll say spot
Hmm.
because that puts us into our routine of making sure that we hit our trip, making sure that we take our picture, making sure that we upload to Spotwalla, making sure that we get the
Mhm.
receipt, making sure that if we're going to go use the restroom or whatever we're going to do, that's kind of our technique of how we say, how did you ride that far that fast? It's just our technique that we get into that
A
cycle of
rhythm.
the rhythm of
So
it.
Rhythm
right.
of it.
So what you're calling, I understand now. So what you're saying technique, I would say more so my routine.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a routine that I follow. Like you said, I don't use I don't typically use stimulants to keep me woke. If I do, I start out with a Mountain Dew first and
Mm-hmm.
just let the caffeine settle in. And usually that holds me because I'm at the point now where I'm backing this thing way down between like 600 and 700 mile days
Okay.
versus 1,000 mile days.
Okay.
So when I was doing the 1,000 mile days, when it got to the point I would need a stimulant, I would drink a Red Bull. But after a while, those things take a toll on you because
You're
once
gonna
you're up,
crash.
you're up.
Yep.
But
You're
when
gonna
you're down,
crash.
you crash.
Right.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
down, you crash. Everything else, like I said, it depends on what your purpose is, what you want to do with it. Your routine that dictates the routine. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to spend a half hour in the gas station, or do you want to just gas and go? You know, how much time do you want to be on the road? Do
Mm-hmm.
you allow time for I want to stop and take a picture?
Right.
All of these things you got to consider. And then this is why I said on the one of the previous podcasts is you got to think this ride through. You got to mentally ride this ride first,
Mm-hmm.
and then once you mentally ride the ride, you can kind of figure out what you're going to be doing along the way, and time wise, you know, everything else should fall in place.
It should fall into place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that to and everybody will develop their own technique or their own routine of riding. That mentor
Mhm.
will sit there and say, "This is my style. This is three things that I will do as I'm riding. How
Hmm.
to do my rides. What is your technique?" And you got people who ride BMWs, snacks. I'm sure her technique and style is totally different than ours because of the different bike and equipment that
Right.
she uses.
Right.
Yeah.
For reference, you'll take Greg Rice. You'll take a lot of other people who do rally riding. Their technique may be totally different than ours. Going back to the mentor will sit there and try to put the mentee on a path to develop their
Right.
own technique of
Their
riding.
own technique.
Would you
Right.
agree?
Because
Would you agree, brother?
yours may not be what theirs would be. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Um, for me, because I do a lot of group riding, with the club and the rides that we've done. If I ride by myself, it's different
Mm-hmm.
from when I'm riding with a group, of course. But my biggest thing is charging all my, everything that needs to be charged. That's my big thing. Like the day before, our preparation is my helmet is charged because I know I need my Bluetooth. I'm making sure that I lay out things so I won't forget. Everything is in its place. Like my riding suit, the shirt I'm gonna put on, the socks. I mean, mine is down to the socks, the boots, but it's all laid out because it's a timing thing for me too, a rhythm thing. Like if I don't pack, I literally pack twice, K Solo. Like if I know that I'm going somewhere like far, like Tone is always like, man, come on, man.
Right.
But I pack first. Like if we're gonna leave like on a Thursday or Friday, whatever, and I know we're leaving early in the morning, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna probably pack on a Tuesday, but I'm gonna come back to that bag so I can look at it and make sure everything that I packed in there Tuesday. Oh, I might have to take some things out. No, I don't need that,
Right.
But it's just it becomes a rhythm, so I can pack what I need and I don't overpack because I tend to be an overpacker.
Okay.
So and I know that about myself. The things that electric things that I need to plug in, you know what I mean? Do I have all the different chargers and all of that? Because I'm taking at least 2 or 3 chargers with me, you know what I mean? Because we lose those, it's just, but like Tone said, that becomes kind of a routine for you once you develop it, and that takes time. I got some sisters, fatigue management is a monster on them. Some of them chew ice while they riding, but the biggest thing is what I've told them is make sure you got a cup holder on your bike. Just make sure you got one. Like I think that's like when you go to Harley Davidson and you buy a new bike, tell them to put that cup holder on it. It's like crash bars.
I was so against the cup holder for so long. I was so against it, and I'm embarrassed to say it, but now I don't even think I can operate without a cup holder, man.
I'm telling you, no,
I can't even operate without it, man, because it was a game changer for me. Picking up a nice cold bottle, and even if you have a Camelback, even if you have a water jug system, just picking up that cold, walking into the gas station, getting a cold bottle of water, plopping it down up in there, and then just drinking it as you go. That bottle of water could be your savior right there, man.
That's the whole thing.
Now my question is, as a mentor to the mentee, do you teach them this? Is that part of you bringing them under wing and say, look, this works, I have experience with it, I recommend it?
Yeah. Cup holder? Yeah.
For me,
probably not for Tom.
For me, I tell you, I give the recommendation. I tell you what I do, but then I give the recommendation. And I do it that way because I also understand that what works for one may not work for the other.
Yeah.
Like, one thing that works for me when I get tired, I chew gum. And for some reason, it wakes me up.
I cannot do that.
When I'm chewing gum, it wakes me up.
It's
I don't know.
I mean, man, if you ever ride with me, don't ride behind me, because when I'm at that level, man, you're gonna be testing sunflower seeds.
You're gonna be ducking
sunflower seeds, man.
Hey, you know who that is? That's Justice. That's Justice with those sunflower. Hey, man, Jay, she be having sunflower seeds flying all over your front fender. That's crazy. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But you know what? If you ride with people a lot, you know what their habits are. You know what I mean? So that's the other thing about having a buddy to ride with, learning what they do and they know what you do. And it becomes, like you said, with you and Reef, when y'all pull into that gas station, boom. And then it gets your timing down and you're not like stuck at this gas station forever. Man, what you doing? You in the store? So all that argument goes away. You know what I mean? But once again, you have to develop that.
Okay. What's up, Sharif? Hey, man, I know you with the family, brother. I definitely would have had you on, man. I didn't want to bother you when you with the family on vacation, man. But love you, and I'm definitely talking about you, man, because a lot of
what's up, bro?
that we both share, man. We work through them together, man. Much love, my brother. Much love.
I just want to touch on something real quick, Solo.
Yeah. For me.
Just to expound on what Kurz was saying. Um, Again, and I don't know if this is going too far back, but being the mentor, one of the things you have to tell the mentee is it you focus on yourself, but if you're riding with somebody, you also have to pay attention to them as well.
Oh
You have
yeah.
to watch their habits, and because you may like a lot of people will ride suicide. Um, but if you don't know the person's habits that's next to you, that could be more of a danger than anything. Even if you're riding stagger, no matter what the formation is, you have to watch. You
Right.
also have to pay attention to the other person and watch what they do, their habits, and how they ride in
Agree.
order to be like offensive and defensively riding.
Agree. I agree with that. We're gonna continue on. We're gonna talk a little bit about. We talked about now. One thing that I definitely want to talk about is fatigue management. We talked about what it takes
Mm,
as far as what we do, our technique, mine is sunflower seeds. Tone, you may drink a Mountain Dew. Curves, you have your technique that you may use.
yeah.
Fatigue management is so important. And going into this summer, we've already experienced 110-degree temperatures in some places.
Yep.
As mentors, how would you what recommendation would you give your mentee? How would you kind of advise them?
For as far as fatigue management, like I said, I do agree with Tone on this much. I don't think I could tell a person how to manage their own fatigue because that is by person.
Right.
But what I would tell them to do is, first of all, you have to get out there and ride in order to find out any of this. Like I can't tell you how to do this if you're not riding. You know what I mean? You're never gonna
Right.
get it. But
Right.
once you get out there, there are several things that you could like. I drink water. I don't really too much take in the the 5 hour energies. I really try not to take in a Red Bull, um, because they kind of dehydrate me. But that's just
Mhm.
for me. For some
Mhm.
people, they can manage Red Bulls. They can. So if I'm gonna drink a energy drink, it's probably gonna be a Celsius.
Mhm.
Because it doesn't have as much sugar. But once again, a lot of that relates to your health. You know what I mean? If you have
Right.
diabetes, if you have high blood pressure. So I think the fatigue management kind of is based on each person.
Right.
So you kind of, hey, ask them. You can,
Yeah,
just ask that mentee. Like,
definitely.
if you, when it, not necessarily when you're on a bike, but when you get to be fatigued, what is best for you?
Okay.
And then I think they should start off in that, in that lane, and then and kind of gradually, when they do their rides, they see if it works. If it works, then go with it. If it
Right.
doesn't, try something else.
Right. Hey, well, I had a special guest popping in. How you doing, sir?
Ah,
My brother,
Yo,
how you doing?
How you doing, my brother? Thank you for representing the podcast tonight.
Got to. This man taught me everything I know.
Hey, hey,
even
hey.
the running beside, even the running beside.
Look,
that's what's
Uh,
up.
No Tip said it must start before the ride. Yes, indeed, Nurse
Yes,
Tiffany, before the
yes.
ride. So that's part of that planning, that part of that early stage
Yeah, I
of it.
was going to say that I think it first start for me with a conversation. Have you ever rode in the heat? And if
Mhm.
you have, then what have you experienced in it?
Right,
Mhm.
And by that little bit of information you give me, I can kind of know which direction I need to go in.
right,
But I'll
right.
share my experiences for fatigue again, like chewing gum helps me. So you might
Mhm.
want to try that. I've heard somebody say they drink Mountain Dews. You might want to try that. I heard, I'll give them all of this information, and that way they can have some different things to try and figure out what works for them.
Right.
And as
Mhm.
far as hydration, um, pre-hydrate.
Yeah,
Um, if,
yeah.
if you're if you're getting
Woo!
ready to get on the road, the
That's
evening
big.
before,
That's
the
real
evening
Hey,
big.
before, drink,
yeah.
drink. That way, the
Nurse,
next
I drink
morning
nurse,
when you
like
start
we
out,
try.
Nurse Tiffany just said it starts before the ride. Tim had just came in
yeah,
now
Yes.
and just said
yeah,
plan a couple of days before the ride. Hydrate needs to
Yeah.
be
yep,
done some. and winter. So it's before the ride. You need to sit there and say, well, okay, I'm going to start taking my ibuprofen for the inflammation and the back pain and hip pain, and I'm going to start drinking extra water. Start drinking extra water.
Yeah, it's easier to maintain versus the try to build back up.
Right.
You know the thing about that water is if you try to get out there in that 110-degree, heat, and you're riding and you just started drinking water, that's what's gonna send you to that bathroom.
Right.
Over and over, because you're dehydrated. You know what I mean?
Right.
Already before you even get on the bike. So the biggest thing is to get it started way before you. If you know you got that trip, we gave a 2 week. Try 2 weeks. Get your water intake going. You know what I mean? And start just drinking water, and then your body gets used to it, so it won't send you to the bathroom as often.
That's
because
right.
You'll be hydrated.
It's so important. Nasty, I know you on that highway, man. I know you be running west and all over the place. What is probably one of your techniques that you use to kind of like get you going, to get you prepped for a long distance ride?
So prepping it would be the same thing, hydrate. It's the military thing. If I'm going on a ruck march, I'm not going to go ahead and say, oh, yeah, I'm not going to prepare the troops before we go on that ruck march.
Right.
You build up to that. So same thing, rest things that'll kill you. Like if you're a club guy, your rest cycle is different. And I try to tell people, don't let this brand new K Solo tell you.
Hey man, come on, man.
Oh,
come on, man.
Did he go there, K Solo?
He went there.
Didn't he?
He won't let me. He won't let me go, man. He won't let me go, man.
That's what's up. Bring him out, man.
That's what we. That's what we here for. That's what we here for.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That's what we here for.
Thank you for joining us tonight, man. 10 man, Nasty, and no is no Hennessy, man.
That's right. That's right. Some of y'all run off Hennessy though. Like that's in your veins. So
hey man, I don't know, man. Larry Page said, what did Larry Page say? Let me go back to this. He said, Larry Page said, riding Indian takes care of that back pain. Oh my God. I may have to though. Who knows, man? Who knows? Yummy said, my condition must condition your body before the ride. Stretching, drinking water, get that vitamin E in your system. Yes, indeed. Yeah. I love this, people. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for engaging this conversation tonight, because it's one of those each one teach one's night for us here on the podcast. If you have questions, drop the questions in there. We're going to try to get them answered. I get one of my panel members to answer the question, and definitely a great conversation tonight. And we're going to keep this thing rolling, man. I'm loving it, folks. Let's dig down a little bit further into our topics right here. Packing strategy. We talked about packing, about the weight distribution, about how to recover the bike. We talked about the gopher get 'em up jack. So we touched on that. Navigation for extended journeys. Pretty much everybody now is probably either using Google, Basecamp, some type of navigation system. We talked about how your navigation system may be wrong. It may not always be right. It may lead you down some places where you may not want to go, or it's not at your level.
I hope they fix that navigation on that Harley Davidson, because it just leads you to the Harley Davidson dealership. I ain't lying. Don't use that.
That's about what it was good for, man. And then with this new one now, where you got to pay to get a subscription to it, knowing if they're going to renew it. So who knows? Man? Who knows?
Let's go with Basecamp and Garmin.
We gotta go with Basecamp and Garmin, man. You see me. You see my office, man. You know what I got in my office.
Okay.
Safety practice. Mentors emphasize defensive riding, hazard awareness, and group riding etiquette that are particularly relevant to long distance travel.
Yeah,
I think we agree to that.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
And we did touch on it. We did touch on group riding, the etiquette of it all, looking out for each other, looking for signs, developing a routine or a technique.
Yeah.
Good. We're on the money. And then guidance on making informed decisions regarding route planning, weather conditions, risk management are crucial. And I definitely want to touch on these right here. Route planning. We will sit there and say, I want to ride the four corners, punch it in our map, and we'll take off on that right there. But then
let me interject right there. Okay,
Oh
so
boy.
yeah. He know I'm coming for him. Tom know I'm coming for him. Listen, when me and Tom first started riding together, well, we both have different riding styles. And he was used to planning the route, all these different things. He uses Garmin. I didn't at the time use Garmin. So by me leading rides all the time, now I become the person that's behind him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And people kind of the navigation systems are different.
Right.
Google, I don't care if you put in the same address and you put it in Google. Google may send you in two different routes. You know what I mean? Now I'm riding behind him because I know how to ride. So I'm like, he is going the wrong way. God damn, he going the wrong way. I got to decide whether I'm going to follow him.
Staying with me and Reed.
Or I'm going to go my own way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that, man, when you're talking about group riding and people following, I literally, in June, we did the club ride. I had to tell them, turn your GPS off. Just turn it off because it's too many of us for you to be having your own mind in this group. You know what I mean? I promise, we're gonna get you to the same location. Just at this point, just follow. And we had to say that in the safety briefing because it would have just been an argument at the gas station. No, y'all were going the wrong way. My GPS said this. Yeah, but you're not leading.
Okay.
But it's okay to turn it on, but you still got to follow. It's okay to turn it on, but you still got to follow. And I had to learn that.
You gotta
right
understand
behind him. You know what I mean? I had to kind of fall back and say, okay, well, he's leading, so this is his route, and yeah, I have the address, but typically he was telling me to put it in my GPS. So if we got got mixed up and got apart, I would be able to get to where I was going.
Okay.
So but we had to learn that with each other. You know what I mean? Because it was gonna be an argument at the gas station. Man, where you going? You don't know where you going. I do know where I'm going. He playing the route. So it becomes a trust thing in that.
We're not gonna argue after this podcast either. I just want to put that out there.
Nasty, what's your approach to it, man?
So in two different lights of it, like I said, I'm a pack guy. So when you run with the pack guy, the road captain is most you never know what he may know ahead of what you may know. So as far as
say that again, Nasty. Say that again. Say it again,
man. Say it again.
Say that again, man.
Never know what the road captain may know that you don't know, because that person is the most experienced. If they do it correctly, they've rode that route. They may, hey, look, it's going to tell 82, but 10 doesn't have any construction. So we're going to take 10 and not go 82 because we're going to be stuck. It's a 2-lane road, blah, 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 whatever. By GPS standards, like Curve says, it's going to tell you that's the most shortest route. It's the economic gas saver. It's all these other things that you got in your GPS. But that road captain rode it. He did it. And if he's good, he did it in the night and the day. So he knows what to do. Like I said, this man K Solo taught me some things. Just a little bit. I wrote a few things down. Not a lot.
Indeed, man. Indeed.
One of the things I learned that shortest is not always the quickest.
Right. So we talked about route planning, weather conditions. I have to bring this up about these daggone weather conditions, man, because like I say, we've already hit 110 degrees temperatures. It's already blistering out there in Arizona. It's one of those things where people stop paying attention to the signs. You need to pay attention to the signs out there. And here's another one that I want to address. I know right now the riding suit is the thing that people are going to. Those riding suits are designed to be used as a system. Learn that system before you just throw those riding suits on. Learn which vent is used to circulate air throughout your body, because people have put them on, gone out and ride, didn't know how to correctly operate them, and damn near died, fainted, and passed out. So it's very important. I'm an old school. I'm a biker. I'm traditional. Jeans, jacket, or something long sleeves on at all times. So the thing about it is, and I'm mainly in black, but I know that dark colors draw more heat. I know this, and Nasty knows this. So the thing is I will change out and change my top to something light, but I still keep something long sleeve on. I keep stressing this enough. I've experienced so much sunburn on my wrist, on my upper wrist right here, because my sleeve will come up. Now I wear my wrist bracelets and stuff like that to keep the sun off. Signs of sun poisoning. Little bumps, little fine bumps that'll start forming up on your skin. That's the first sign that you're going to be suffering from sun poisoning. It does not get you right then. It's going to get you later. You're going to start feeling lightheaded, dizzy. You're going to feel nauseous. So the thing about it is, start to learn the signs, folks. Learn the signs. Mentors, teach your mentee the signs and the importance of properly covering yourself. And we learned that in the military when we went over to Iraq, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia. We seen everybody with these long drabs on. Like, what they got all this up on? It's a cooling system. And you do the same thing when you're riding, folks. Would you agree, panel?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Somebody
I want to share a little. I want to share a little trick with you, because you brought up something about your wrist, and so I wear Under Armour moisture wicking long sleeves. They also come with sunblock in them. You know, so one thing I do is to keep my wrist from burning. At the end of the sleeve, I poke a hole in it, and then I stick my thumb in that hole, and it always keep the sleeve down over my wrist,
Yes.
so my wrist was never exposed.
Yes.
I'm
So
like
that's just a
K
just a tip
Solo.
and trick.
K Solo. I listen. I probably got sunburn right now. Look at that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's it, man.
I'm listen. That's me. But at the same time, I have the climb riding suit. I have learned how to. I. It doesn't matter if it's hot outside. I have that suit on. But I'm always
You
about
learn to work the system. You know how the system works.
yeah, and then having a, like Tone said, a moisture wicking shirt. I'm always with a sleeve on. I'm never without any sleeves. My sleeves have the UV ray protected in it. You know, it's not just about going and buy a shirt. I had some club sisters. They want to ride in tank tops. You know, but I always tell them, you know, they want to ride with gloves that don't have fingers in them. I said, well, when you come up missing and nobody can identify you by your fingerprints, I tell you what, you go put a glove on then. So
No.
it's always safety for me, because you know I've just been doing this for a while, but at the same time I understand everybody, you know, especially with the women, we want to be kind of cute, and but when you talking about doing long distance, that becomes a different ride. And I was gonna say this about uh, those different, like I know low key said about having the advisors and then having a mentor. Well,
Yes.
if you have a mentor that's not a long distance rider, it's going to be very hard for them to tell you anything about what you should be wearing on a long distance ride. You know what I mean? Or what you should be doing about hydration, or what you should be doing about wearing a riding suit, because there are different riding suits. You know what I mean? Like you want to get the cheapest kind, go get it, but you got to understand what you're buying. You're just not going to buy a riding
Yep.
suit because you don't want to buy a rain suit. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's a little bit more education that people need to do before they mentor somebody. So just
Yes.
because, you know, for women, we kind of get mentors based on girl, she called me and she checked on me, and yeah, nothing to do with riding motorcycles. You know what I mean? We do. Listen.
Right.
You know, it goes a little bit further than that when you start. That's why I say you may have to change depending on when you know evolve in your riding
Right. Right.
of who's going to advise you and who's going to be telling you. And I know I'm on the panel with three handsome men, but let me say this, fellas, it's just gonna be some shit y'all can't teach us as women to ride out there.
That's exactly why you on this panel. That's exactly why you on this panel.
I've been saying that for a long time.
I can't do
And
it.
I've been riding
can't
with
do
y'all
it,
for a
man.
long time, but it's just, hey, when me and Tom start
Hey,
riding, hey man,
man.
hey, you just can't pull up on the side and go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
You go
no.
to a
I
fitness station.
Hey, one day says, what's special about the Garmin? Explain. The Garmin is a routing system, and if you look at my bike, if you look at any of the pictures on my bike, you can go in, you can program it, upload routes, you can put in POIs, you can basically sit down in base camp, plan your whole ride out, your stops and everything down, and it will guide you. Not only it's capable of doing that, it also can Bluetooth to your phone and Wi-Fi for updates that can give you weather reports, what routing is up ahead, traffic, road hazards, and stuff like that. So that's probably one of the best systems that I've been introduced to.
I'm not doing without it. Okay, so I ain't I can't go nowhere.
Uphold a Garmin Spot Wallet. That's the office, man.
Man, listen, we have in that Garmin. I have got behind us, like had to have the pack running, and we see a storm out there on the radar, and just to navigate behind that storm, I saw Royalty kind of ask a question about tornadoes and what we do when we roll it. Well, if you watching that radar, you can see where this rain is coming, where it is, all of these different things that come, and I'm telling you, it's like, and then it doesn't matter whether your glove is a touch glove or not. That Garmin, I'm talking about, if you just hit it, it's doing everything you need and you know, more safe than just your glove off and typing on that phone to touch Google. You know, I live and die by my Garmin. I love it.
That's weird about Garmin. It's so much easier to use for I know you mentioned Basecamp. Basecamp is kind of difficult to learn. But for me, I stopped using Basecamp. I Google the destination, and once it comes up, I send it to my GPS. And if I have multiple destinations, I send all of them to my GPS. And it lets me put them in order, whichever one I want to do first, and whichever one they ask you, do you set this as the next destination, or do you want to set this as the last destination? And you know, it also give you the ability to, once you pull it up on the map, you can just touch it and move your route. Like if you want to not really follow the route and take this road here, you could just drag it over to that road and it'll just follow that road. So it's so much easier for me to use. That's why I swear by it.
Yeah, the bigger thing, like for nasty, like when you guys running those packs and you know you in La La Land where there is no gas station, you know what I mean? That Garmin, it, you know, you tap on that, it's finding all the gas stops where it has a hotel, a bathroom, you know, everything that those amenities that you need. Y'all get tired out there and y'all need somewhere to lay down. It has all of that on that Garmin. So
it's
you know,
it's a great system. It's a great system to invest in. We are not, we're not sponsored by these companies that we're mentioning, but these are tools that we use, and as mentors, we will recommend them to our mentees to maybe look at using them and kind of give them a crash course to understand it. So that's just something, that's just part of being a mentor, to sit there and knowing, researching some of the equipment that you use that you can recommend, because it's just like Spot Wallet. Some people will call and say, how do I learn how to do Spot Wallet?
Right.
Or do you have an Apple or do you have an Android? Because if you have an Android, I can't do nothing for you.
I can't do nothing for you. I do not know how to run. Was it Bubbler?
But like, call Reef. Call Reef.
Right. That's me. Call Kinky. Kinky knows Bubbler. I know SW Traffic.
Call Reef.
That's what I know.
But it's just one of those things, man. It's just one of those things that we sit there as mentors. The tricks of the trade is pretty much what it is. Learning the tricks of the trade and passing it down for others to use.
Yep.
Absolutely.
To be safe. Good
Absolutely.
deal, man. I'm enjoying this tonight. We're gonna get ready to wrap this thing up because I don't want to try to keep y'all on here too long. Let me get to my last slide right here. I'm gonna add this and we're gonna bring it up. Give me 1 second here. And we're gonna start off at the top. We're gonna sit here. We're going beyond skill training, community building. Mentors can help the mentee connect with other riders who can offer further support and shared experiences. And that's exactly what we were talking about Reef and Spot Waller, reaching out to other people about the Garmin, Lionel Ramos, all these other riders. And I talked about it during the IBR. When you in these groups, it's so important that when you're in these groups, you should be learning and taking something from it.
Right.
Don't just be in there looking at people post stuff.
You in there. They just in there.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's so many people out there that you can learn from. You know what I mean? As a mentor, it's not just all about you either. I think that you should be, you become a branch on a tree. You know what I mean? And it's just so many people that kind of spreads out to. You know what I mean?
Right. And D Bell is an SME subject matter expert on it too. He just put in there that Bubbly is no longer available. If you don't already have it.
Too bad.
That's right.
Wait, what did they do with it? What happened? I know Spotweiler changed a lot, but what happened to it? What happened to those?
Well, if you already have it, you can still use it. It's still available for people that already have it.
Okay.
I think if you don't have it, it's switched to something else. I think.
Okay.
What the name of it is or whatever they were trying to do with it, I don't know. To be honest with you, I didn't really concern myself with that because I already had it, and it's been working for me. I'm just gonna keep working.
You're not being a good mentor, Tom. You're not being a good mentor.
Hey, I want to say this as far as being the mentor. We done talked about all of the good things, right? About being the mentor and teaching a mentee. But as with everything, there's a gift and a curse. There's burdens that come along with being the mentor. So if you ever decide you want to be somebody's mentor, just prepare yourself because there's some things that want to come along with it.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Promoting rider survivability, mentorship is viewed as a key element in helping riders maximize their skill and eliminate reckless behavior, ultimately enhancing their safety, building confidence. I can't say it enough. Don't be afraid to ride by yourself. Do not be afraid to ride by yourself. Mentor,
some of my best rides by myself.
You ain't lying about that.
Confidence in your mentees to get out there and explore, ride the back roads, to get out there and just go get that yonder. Because you already know when a ride starts out, there'll be 10 people. A week out, 2 weeks out, there'll be 7 people. A week out, there'll be 5 people. The day of, there'll be 2 people.
Just you.
Or you.
or you got to go. I gotta go.
It's right. One monkey don't stop no show. So the thing is build that confidence in your abilities. The people that you out there mentoring, the people that you out there giving advice to, build them up so they can go out there and hit the road, man. Nasty. I know you have people under your wing and you at a level right now in your organization that people are kind of under your wings. Any advice that you could share?
The only advice I got is you got to home those people in that ride outside of the mentality of staying together. It's like I said, one monkey don't stop no show. If you dedicate yourself to go for a ride, like you said, don't be afraid to ride by yourself. Go. Because if you put yourself to wait for other people to plan and then their plan isn't your plan, you're already done messed up. Just go ahead. They're going to be the same ones like, oh, man, I wish I would have went. I'm hang up my phone.
Me too, Nasty. Me too.
They always want to know who was there, who went with you, what happened.
Right.
You should have came.
Yes, Big O. Yes, Big O. Orlando, you are 100% correct. The mentee must be willing to listen to the mentor.
I was gonna say shout out to Orlando for that because
Big O.
that is
Yes, sir. Gentleman, man. LA gentleman, man. Love him, Big O, man. Good deal. In trying to wrap these questions up so true that allow me just love to ride together. Can't wait to be able to ride again. Yes, indeed. Royalty. Yes, indeed. Let me pull our slide back up because we're getting ready to wrap this thing up. We've been on here already about an hour and 15 minutes. Great dialogue tonight, great conversation. I'm enjoying my panel. Thank you for joining me tonight, right where I wanted us to be. So building confidence through guidance, support to help the mentee gain confidence necessary to tackle a long distance ride, safely and enjoyable. In essence, mentoring a long distance motorcycle, I can't read that because I have words over it. Motorcycle is a process of guiding and empowering them to become a safe, confident, and skilled rider prepared for the unique challenges. And that's it right there in a nutshell. So we sit there and say, do you have a mentor? Are you a mentee? And then if you're in a club, that's a sponsor. So mentor, sponsor. Would you agree? Because I have
Definitely.
the spectrum on here tonight.
I need. Can I give a shout out to one person?
You can, by all means.
Let me shout out. And this has nothing to do with nothing but what I'm getting ready to say. Avril Angel Phillips took a beating from me. I'm talking about a verbal abuse. A verbal abuse on the road with riding, like for us riding together.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched her develop. You know what I mean? She took like all of the things that we talked about tonight about is your bike made for you, transferring from one bike to the next, and not being able to move your bike on your own. She took it. You know what I mean? Now she was a person that was able to take that. Everybody, can't take that type of talk, direct talk.
Mm-hmm.
But she took that. She got better. But the one thing that I always say, you have to ride in order to do everything that we've gave advice for tonight. You cannot get this. You cannot get this from a book. You can't pay for it. And what I mean is you can't pay somebody to teach you how to get these skills. You have to go and do it on the slab. You have to. And she did it. And I always tell her, I said, I'm proud of you because I watched you grow from being you were timid and your confidence is up. I'm talking about she drugged my ass coming out of Pensacola, Florida. And I'm, just proud of her because I could see that, that transition of everything that we talked about tonight. So I just want to shout her out. And then Zinga Snapshot Glover out of Miami, Florida, because I watched her go from sports bike to road glide and just doing all the things that she want to do. So just those two ladies, they like, and the only reason why I'm doing this because they took a verbal abuse from me. I wasn't easy on them. I told them if this what they wanted to do, this what you got to do.
Right.
So and they asked me questions and and they did what they needed to do, and that means they got their ass out on the road, and that's what you got to do.
Right. Good deal. I'm gonna go around the horn tonight and kind of close out on a few words from our panel. Nasty, if you would, sir, if you have any closing remarks that you would like to share with our audience tonight. I think it's been very informative. I'm getting a lot of positive comments about this show tonight, and it's something where it's just one of those check the checks. Just keep it fresh in our mind. How important it is when we send people out, how you talk to people, what you need to be aware of. Don't just listen to them. Don't just say I talk to them. It's like what Tone says. It's like what Curve said. Don't just talk to them, but what they tell you, take it in. Take it in. Pick that nugget up. Y'all know that's my thing, man. Take that nugget, put it in your backpack, and reach in there and pull it out because it'll probably save you someday. Nasty.
So he is, I think, as growing, you're always a mentee. You can be a mentor, but you'll always be a mentee because things in the world is always evolving and changing. Like you never before. When you came, you know what I'm saying, talking about this man came October in the snow from Baltimore and came down to El Paso. So I'm just speaking on a little highlight of K Solo, what I remember. And this was before all that, technology and stuff. So as a mentor, I think you have to humble yourself, always be a mentee and be willing to keep learning something new. That way, when you have your mentee, you're like, okay, hey, we can learn this together, or I've learned this, let me show you this. And then the other part is like Curves, everybody said, Angel was able to take that verbal abuse, and you can be a drill sergeant with her, but then you have somebody a little bit more sensitive. Now, person's mindset is, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to ride. I don't feel,
Mhm.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Certain people you handle with, Mickey Mouse blood, and certain people you're like, nah, I know if I tell you, hey, come on, let's go. We can do this. The other thing is, in this LDR life, the long distance riding life, everybody sees it for the beauty and everything it is. But riding 500 miles, people don't understand that's about 8 hours, depending on how you do it. So if you think you're just going to jump up and be like, oh, yeah, the thou wow, that's why everybody is like, oh, I got to document.
The Thou Wow.
Mhm.
Do it the way it needs to be done if you document it correctly. So yeah, anybody can ride 1,000 miles. It don't matter how you ride 1,000 miles, but can you do it underneath a challenge and restrictions? That's a difference. So
Right.
have these people that's inquisitive and want to learn about it. You got to start off, like I said, start off small. It's not about going to the get down. We all look cute. Like Curves looks beautiful right now. Love your hair, love your nails. But Curves is not about to do that and be like, okay, whip this up and make sure
No.
you're gonna be who you are on that road.
Oh,
And
I'm gonna take the eyelashes off. I got to get, you know what I mean? I'm gonna take the eyelash and the lip gloss. It ain't gonna look like this last.
to a chapstick and lotion, and that's what
What?
Oh man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, folks.
for me, like I said, I got to learn from the greatest. Definitely a legend. All I want to do is be a legacy behind them, and love all y'all, man. Curves, your story is amazing. I sat on that podcast. I look forward to meeting you physically in person, man. I can't wait.
Definitely.
I learned something every day. Sarge is another one who gave me an opportunity to make that I-10, and you know what I'm saying, that's me, that's my get down. That's how I really start off my year. um and bringing the collectively group together, even going to the RTE, get out and do something outside of just going to the party. It's
Right.
party. You cannot meet all these riders if you're not going to a gas station, if you're not on a highway somewhere. That's where people interact. That's where all of us motorcycle enthusiasts interact, get to meet each other. You
Right.
end up riding with somebody. Like I
Mhm.
up Tiger, and I stopped in Alabama, Bucky's, and we rode to the RT together. And she'll tell you, I drug her ass all the way in. She wanted to quit. I stand on what I said. She wanted to quit, and I got her all the way there. You know what I'm saying? It's just that mindset.
You
But
should have bought her a T-shirt while you drug her there.
not my this, I represent Bucky's another.
I know that's right.
Good deal, man. Good deal. And I know we can everybody hear me?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Mhm.
good deal. I know we're going through the slides kind of fast. There's one thing that I want to touch on. It's so important, folks. It's so important. The National Weather Service. Please learn how to use this site. Go to this site and find out what the weather pattern is like, what the heat is moving across, the forecast. National Weather Service. As far as I know, when I pulled up the website, when I put this together, it's still there. I don't think they defunded it. Um, I don't know, but I'm just gonna say, mentors, learn how uh, to give your mentees that information that they need to make them better riders and definitely be safe. And use that, folks. Use that. Uh,
Let me,
I just want to
Casey, let
say,
me tell you.
one second, one second.
Well,
Hold that thought. Hold that. I
Go
want to
ahead.
thank Big Sarge for coming in tonight with the Iron Elite podcast. I want to thank DJ Effects coming in with his podcast. I want to thank Big O for coming in. Big O has a podcast that he does out of California. All my social media influencers, thank you for coming on. Shaquille Boosie, thank you for coming on tonight. Congratulations on your ride, an astonishing ride. I can't wait to chop it back up with you, to have you back on the program. There's a couple other people out there. I know Most Wanted is out there right now. Most Wanted. I got to give a shout out to her.
Shout out.
We got she endured that final push, and I'm glad I gave her the right information. I know people were telling her because you just can't predict what the weather going to be like up there in Alaska. The pattern is different. We don't even think about, is it going to rain, the fog, the visibility, the wilderness. So shout out to her.
Just know what's going to happen up there.
Exactly. And I know Low Key was pushing you as well. I know a couple other people was pushing you on your brand ride. I'm just happy and honored to be a part of your brand ride. So I just want to thank you and give you a shout out. Now I'm sorry, Kurt, go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to make fun of your boy on here, tea time.
I knew it was coming. I was hoping he called me before he called you.
The Weather Channel is like, like NBC, MSN, NBC, like he watching like, every day, like the news. I don't understand. I'm like, what's going on the Weather Channel? And won't be going nowhere. I'm like, what is going? But no, I was saying that because you were talking about the weather. Like that's a big.
I know.
That's a big part. I always clown him about that. Like, dude, what are you watching? But the weather is really like a big thing. I think that's one of the probably most overlooked things.
Right.
People don't check the weather and they just go out there and then we look up on social media and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know this was gonna happen. Yeah, but you could have checked the weather. You know what I mean? Like get that app, whatever. I think Garland is saying the NOAA is a good app. I use like weather radar. I mean, different type. Hey, whatever works best for you.
Right.
David, the Weather Channel is the news. That's how.
That's the one right there, man.
He said it has more on than just
learn.
the weather.
And learn the tornado pattern. Learn
that
tornado.
exactly.
You just had a tornado with 18 wheelers was turned over. And just like what Shaquilla said, safety over ego, man. Don't be out there letting your ego get you in some stuff.
You better get out that road for real.
You better. Yeah. So
I think the weather, that's good. That shout out to the weather for real, because it's definitely overlooked.
Yeah. So folks, tonight has been an each one teach one night, man. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I want to thank my panel for coming on. Panel, by all means, thank you. My hat off to you. I couldn't have done this without you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
and Tone, we're gonna wrap it up on you because we didn't give you a chance to give your closure because you just got Joan.
I did. I watch the Weather Channel. I watch the Weather Channel every day. I do. I watch it. You'd be surprised at what you can learn from it. The weather patterns. If you're going cross country, you need to be aware of what's going on in other states.
Right.
So not just the states you're leaving from. You need to be aware of what's going on along your path that you're traveling. So I watch it. But I want to piggyback off of what Nancy said. You never stop being the mentee. And I don't want to make this about being curves tonight, but again, when we first started riding together, we clashed. I learned some things from her, and she learned some things from me. So again, you never stop being the mentee.
Right.
But you have to be willing to you still have to be willing to learn. Because you've been doing this for 15, 20, 25 years, that don't mean you know it all. You may be stuck in your ways and you may not see some of the things that you need to adjust for yourself.
Right.
So again, that's being the mentor is one of the things you need to understand. So I just want to leave everybody with this because y'all pretty much covered everything that I wanted to talk about. When it comes to riding, learning how to ride and long distance riding, just live your truth. If you are a long distance rider, claim it. If you're not a long distance rider, claim it. Don't try to pretend to be something that you're not, because for people that don't know you, one, they're going to expect certain things from you, and two, if you go out there and try to act like something you're not, you're going to put yourself in a very dangerous situation. Especially when you're riding with people who are those people. So just live your truth. If you're a mentor and you got one style of teaching or being the mentoring, just understand that it may not work for everybody. So
Right.
you may only have to mentor certain people,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So just live
Okay.
your truth, man. Just don't claim something that you're not. Be honest. Don't be scared to admit something that you don't know. It can only help you. It can
Right.
only help the person that's helping you.
That's that's
It keep you out of some dangerous situations. So
that's
that's
100,
what I want
man.
to do today. And just
100.
ride. That's it. Everything else
Okay.
will fall in place.
Okay. 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 All right, my panel. I want to thank y'all for joining me tonight. Um, my hat off again. My hat off to you, man. It was a great show. I loved it. I think we have inspired a lot of people to become mentors. We've inspired a lot of mentees out there to sit there and open their eyes with a broader view and be more of a sponge and start absorbing some of this stuff that some of these mentors out there pushing out. A shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight, that commented, that asked questions, that engaged, that made this program what it's been tonight. Because without you, we would just be just blowing in the air and mumbling words. But it's been very informative. And thank you, everybody. Thank you. So listen,
Thanks
folks,
for
y'all
having me.
have a good night. I'm gonna just go ahead and let you go and get
Thank
ready to
you.
close out. Y'all take care.
All right.
All right.
All right. Nasty, my brother, I love you, man. All right, folks. Hey, listen, we are gearing up. Reef and I are gearing up for this year's official Reef and K Solos Ride to Eat. If you want to come and meet some of these long distance riders you've seen on the show, Mr. Mosley would be there. Hero Benson will be there. Maybe Tonto is going to be there again this year. Some true icons and living legends. We're going to have some Hoka riders there. If you want to hear about the Hoka, if you want to hear about the Iron Butt Rally, we're going to have some people from the Iron Butt Rally there. We're going to have Mike Kneebone is going to be at the RTE this year. We're going to have the president, Mark, of the Southern California Motorcycle Association at the Ride to Eat this year. Go to the group. We have a Facebook page. You can get all the information. You can get the hotel information. You get to get the restaurant information. You can get the information to purchase your shirts. All of that right there. The Reef and K Solo official Ride to Eat in Little Rock, Arkansas. Can't wait to see everybody. All right, folks, it's been a great night. I thoroughly enjoyed this. And once again, thank you for tuning in with Riding with K Solo podcast. And always remember, aspire to inspire, be legendary. Have a good night.